And thank you for watching this regional forecast for the Canadian Prairie. I'm Andrew Pritchard, Senior Meteorologist with Nutrien Ag Solutions. Well, temperatures are quite pleasant across the prairie right now, at least across the western and central portions of the prairie. It's a little bit cooler in the east, and we're going to continue to see that cooling trend spread from west to east as we head through the next 7 to 10 days. The pattern's also going to feature a couple opportunities for some spotty precipitation, a lot of areas remaining on the drier side here, but corridors of wetness and a couple unfortunate corridors of some snowfall that we have to talk about, one of which problematic across southern portions of the border between Saskatchewan and Manitoba as we head into Friday night and Saturday morning. Again, that of course part of this big cool down with this late or early mid-May cooling trend. So let's look at temperatures right now. Again, fairly pleasant for many across the prairie. Temperatures anywhere between 10 to 15 degrees across portions of southern Alberta and Saskatchewan, getting down into the single digits as you head east over toward Manitoba. Winnipeg coming in at 8 degrees here this morning. As we play the satellite loop, it ends with a really gorgeous view of the prairie, though. I'm going to let it stop right here, staring down again at the prairie. On this Wednesday morning, I apologize. Sunny skies for many as you head over toward southern and western portions of Alberta. Some high-level wispy cirrus clouds, but really a just beautiful view of the Canadian prairie there, and then extending all the way down into the southern plains and the Midwest, and then down here, that's where we're recording this video right now in central Illinois. So check in with the radar here. We're pretty quiet as well, and that should be the case for much of the day. We'll take a look at the high-resolution Canadian model here and watch the next storm system beginning to emerge across the south and the west, with some precipitation starting across southern Alberta as we head into the overnight tonight. Continuing to see high pressure keeping us dry across Saskatchewan and Manitoba through the overnight and then into the day tomorrow. As we head into Thursday afternoon and evening, we'll watch for some scattered showers, maybe even a rumble of thunder across central and southern Alberta. So that's where we get some precipitation in spotty, really kind of erratic fashion there, where not everyone is going to come up with the same amounts here over the next 48 hours or so. And that takes us on into Thursday evening and Thursday night with those kind of spotty showers across the region. So we'll look at total forecast precipitation, just taken raw from this forecast model again. This is not exactly how this is going to, actually end up in reality, but it just kind of conveys the message here. Some people are going to get left dry between now and Thursday night, and then some people are going to end up with a good downpour and come up with, anywhere from 10 to 25 millimeters of precipitation, and that's going to be very localized where that ends up happening. Luckily, not talking about any snow over the next 48 hours, but as this trough begins to deepen and expand across the region, we'll go ahead and bring it back to the look right now. We've got some ridging across the prairie. That's the reason for the pleasant, sunny, warm conditions for much of the prairie as we start and go through our Wednesday. But watch as we head through the next 48 hours or so as this ridge begins to get kind of pinched here along the Atlantic border with the Pacific Ocean border with the Western Canada there, and kind of forced northward up into Canada. Or into Alaska. Jeez-a-loo. Sorry, guys. And then this trough begins to expand, including much more of the prairie as we head into the weekend and then early next week, and that is really going to kind of reinforce this cooling trend across the area as we kind of just loop things here into the end of the next 5 to 7 days, taking it all the way to May 12th. If I just kind of pause it there, taking a look from right now with some of this warmth spreading into the prairie, a bit cooler as you head over toward the east. Again, we talked about the cooler temperatures over in Manitoba today. But as we head over the next 5 to 7 days, taking it through the weekend, you see it happening here, this trough expanding, the cold air expanding, the warmth getting kind of forced northward and pinched northward in this narrow corridor, such that this is what it looks like as we get to Tuesday, May 12th. Again, much of the cool air expanding from the Great Lakes into eastern Canada, and then the core of the warmest air being forced northward now through British Columbia all the way into Alaska. So that's going to set up a track here up and over the top of that ridge with a kind of northwest to southeast track with some of these storm systems. So we'll go ahead and hit play here looking at the precipitation opportunities over the next week or so. Again, we have the storm system that emerges here during the overnight into Thursday. That's going to get primarily high elevations of southwestern Alberta with some snow, but maybe some showers here across central and southern Alberta. Then we take it on into Friday night and Saturday morning, and then this is where we see it. Cold air associated with this expanding trough changes some of the snow on the north side of the storm system, or changes some of the precipitation on the north side of the storm system over to some snow as we head into Saturday morning, accumulating in a corridor kind of from maybe central, south central Saskatchewan down into southwestern Manitoba. On the backside of that, the chance for some liquid precipitation, some cold rain, with maybe some spotty snowflakes included within that Saturday night into Sunday morning across central and southern portions of Alberta, getting into southwestern Saskatchewan, with continued light opportunities for some, again, cold rain showers, maybe a few flurries across southern and central Alberta as we head through Sunday into Monday morning, as this area of high pressure begins to expand across the region. So once we get into early next week, into the May 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th time frame, I think it's going to be a bit on the drier side. I think that'll bring some of the more organized precipitation to an end, but it's going to be at the peak of the cooler pattern across the Canadian Prairie as we get into the back half of the weekend and early next week. So just looking at an ensemble forecast here for total accumulated precipitation, looking just at total liquid precip here between now and the end of May 11th here. Again, the highest going to be in the higher elevations here, where we pick up some heavy snow in the high elevations along the Alberta and British Columbia border. But then this other corridor here, where again some of this falling as snow, as we look at the probability of just getting us some accumulating snow here, an inch or 2.5 centimeters of snow. And again, you see that corridor here across central Saskatchewan down into southwestern Manitoba, and then down into the U.S. here across North Dakota and portions of Minnesota. So that does include, potentially Saskatoon, I apologize. Regina definitely kind of in the bullseye right now as far as things look like to pick up at least a little bit of snow, if not maybe 5 to 10 centimeters of snow in some of the higher areas here. Winnipeg, I think you're probably going to miss out on the accumulating snow, but Brandon, your area there, I'm looking at a good probability of picking up, again, a couple of centimeters, maybe on the high side, 5 to 10, but by the time we get into Saturday morning. So we'll address this once more on Friday morning with our look at the Prairie, and we'll kind of dive into some of the specifics there, but really starting to hone in on that corridor across the southern border of Saskatchewan and Manitoba. So as we look at winds over the next couple of days, again, we've got south winds here at times anywhere from 15 to 20 knots, a little bit on the breezy side. Really pleasant conditions as far as winds go as we head through Thursday. But then as our more organized storm system comes through, as we get into Friday and Saturday, we're going to start to see those winds begin to ramp up on the backside. So bringing in this cooler air mass on Friday will be some strong northerly winds across central and southern Alberta. That includes the Calgary area, and that's where we could see those winds gusting anywhere from 25 to 40 kilometers per hour, and then sustained there, maybe 20 to 30 at times. So we take a look at the next 10 days with those temperatures. Again, we see that cooling trend steady as we head into the weekend and early next week, with the core of that in Calgary in the May 10th through the 11th time frame. It does look like we start to moderate on the backside of that into the last half of next week. Similar look here in Edmonton. The peak of the cold push here going to be Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Similarly in Regina, Saskatoon, and then Winnipeg again off toward the east, dealing with a little bit more of that cold early on. So you're already kind of dealing with it, and you'll continue to deal with these high temperatures right around 10 degrees, at times in the single digits, with overnight lows dropping below zero each night as we head through now and May 12th. Have a great day. We'll talk to you again on Friday morning.